Hey, if you are new here, welcome. Welcome to the family. If you're returning, hey, HOS Collective, what is going on? Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you got through the holidays without too much strife or drama. Give yourself a huge applause. You made it. Welcome to 2026. You survived 2025, the year of the snake, which symbolized wisdom, transformation, strategy, and quiet power. It was energetically not a loud, impulsive year. Its energy was subtle, intentional, and deeply internal. In 2026, the year of the horse, it's a completely different energetic shift from the snake. Where the snake is quiet, internal, and strategic, the horse is movement, momentum, and visible change. Excited? I am. Let's go. In the spirit of visible change, let's talk about something real for a moment. Why shadow work can feel heavy at first. And if you ever started this journey and thought, why do I feel worse before I feel better? I want you to know you're not doing it wrong. You're really not. You're actually doing it right. When you begin shadow work, you're not suddenly creating darkness. You're not becoming negative. You're not spiraling, even though it may feel like that. What's really happening is you're bringing the unseen into awareness. For so long, many parts of us have lived beneath the surface, unacknowledged, unexpressed, and unmet. Not because we are weak, but because we were surviving. And survival often requires us to tuck pieces of ourselves away. So when you begin shadow work, the first thing you're doing is turning toward what you once had to turn away from. That alone can feel heavy. It can be scary because awareness truly does have weight. When something is unconscious, it doesn't ask us for anything. But once we see it, once we feel it, it asks to be witnessed. Shadow work is not about fixing yourself. It's about meeting yourself. I know that sounds deep. And meeting yourself honestly can stir emotions that have been waiting a very long time to be felt. You may notice memories. They may resurface old patterns, emotions rising that don't seem to have a clear place to land. Grief, anger, sadness, fear. Not because you're going backward, but because you're finally safe enough to move forward. This is something I want you to really hear. Heaviness is often the first sign of truth returning. When you have spent years, sometimes decades, carrying unprocessed experiences, your system adapts. It learns how to keep going without fully feeling. Shadow work gently disrupts that adaptation. And disruption can feel uncomfortable before it feels liberating. Think of it like this. If you've been carrying a heavy backpack for years without noticing, the moment you stop and set it down, you feel how heavy it actually was. Not because it got heavier, but because you finally paused long enough to notice. Shadow work creates that pause. And that pause is everything that you have been holding getting a voice. Sometimes people expect shadow work to feel empowering right away. And while empowerment does come, it often arrives afterwards, honestly. Before clarity, there is contrast. Before integration, there is recognition. And recognition can feel tender. You may begin to see how often you abandon your own needs, how often you minimized your truth to keep the peace, how often you carried responsibility that was never yours to hold. That awareness can sting, but it's not meant to push you away. It's meant to be free, to be freeing. Because once something is seen, it can no longer control you from the shadows. Another reason shadow work feels heavy is because the nervous system is recalibrating. Your body has learned what feels familiar, not what feels healthy. So when you start choosing awareness, boundaries, or self-honoring responses, your system may initially resist. It might say, this feels unsafe. This feels uncomfortable. This feels like too much. But discomfort does not equal danger. Often it simply means you're stepping outside of an old pattern. Shadow work teaches you how to sit with sensation without needing to escape it. How to hold space for yourself without judgment. How to say, I deserve to be present when old emotions arise. And presence, well, presence can feel intense before it feels grounding. There's also something else that doesn't get talked about enough. Shadow work brings you to face your own humanity. Not the polished version, not the spiritualized version, but the real you. The part of you that feels jealousy, resentment, the part of you that gets tired of being strong. And that in itself can challenge the identity that you have built over years and sometimes decades. Especially if you've been the healer, the caretaker, the one who has it all together. Shadow work gently says, you don't have to perform wholeness here. And that can feel like a relief and a loss at the same time. A loss of who you thought you had to be to belong. But here's the truth that lives beneath the heaviness. Shadow work does not make you heavier. It makes you more whole. The weight you feel isn't new. It's simply being acknowledged. And acknowledgement is the beginning of integration. Over time, something shifts, The emotions that once felt overwhelming begin to soften. The patterns that once felt automatic begin to loosen. The inner dialogue that once felt harsh becomes more compassionate. Not because you forced it, but because you listened. Shadow work teaches you that nothing within you is wrong. Some parts are just unheard. And when parts are heard, they no longer need to shout through pain, reaction, or self-sabotage. If you're in the heavy phase right now, I want to offer you this reassurance. You are not broken. You are not regressing. You are not too much. You are remembering yourself. And remembering can be emotional. It can feel disorienting. It can feel raw. But it also profoundly is healing. Eventually, the heaviness gives way to something else. It does. It gives way to clarity, self-trust, emotional spaciousness, and a deeper sense of inner safety. Not because life becomes perfect, but because you become more anchored within yourself. Shadow work doesn't remove your darkness. It teaches you how to walk with it instead of being ruled by it. And that's where true light comes from. So if you're moving through this process, I encourage you to be gentle with yourself. Go slow, ground often, rest when you need to. You're not meant to do this all alone, all at once. Transformation doesn't rush. It unfolds. And the fact that you're here, willing to look inward, already tells me something. It tells me something important about you. You are brave. You're honest, and you're ready to live more fully, not perfectly, but authentically. And that is the real gift of shadow work. If this message resonates deep inside, subscribe, stay connected, and enjoy the vibe. Talk to you soon.